Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to overlay the snow depth map from the National Weather Service on top of our trail map using Google Earth. So when you purchase a trail map with the X Package logo, the installer places a shortcut on your desktop to all of the X Package files. So when you follow that shortcut, you'll see multiple folders, one of which is the KMZ folder. Within the KMZ folder are the various states that come with the map. For example, if you purchase the New England map, you'll get 4 separate files, one for each state. Now you can double click on one of these files and it'll open in Google Earth, but I'm going to show you a second way to pull these files in. So the first thing we'll want to do is select My Places, otherwise the files will likely go into temporary places. So we'll go up here and we'll say File, Open, and you'll have to navigate to the GPS Trailmasters folder's KMZ folder using the X Package shortcut. But once there, we can select multiple files and we'll open those within Google Earth. So you'll see that the points of interest create quite a bit of clutter. So what we can do is expand. Looks like it went into temporary places anyway. We can expand each of these and shut off the point features, which are the points of interest. To remove that clutter. Now we can collapse these again. And we're going to want to move these now up to My Places, so we can just drag them up there. That way they'll be permanent every time you open Google Earth. Then the next thing we want to do is bring in the snow depth map. So to help us georeference that map, we'll want to come down here and enable borders so that we have this yellow outline of the United States. So you'll need to navigate using a web browser to the NRFC website where they have all of these different snow maps. Any one of these could be georeferenced onto Google Earth and overlaid with the trails, but the one that's of most interest is the snow depth map. So when we click on that, what we need to do is get the link, the URL to this map. So it's not what's in the address bar. It's an address that you get by right-clicking on the image and copy the image URL, and that puts the URL into the paste buffer. So the next thing we want to do is come back to Google Earth and we want to add an image overlay. So here is where we'll paste that link in this link field, and we'll give the map a name. So we'll call it the NRFC snow depth. And the transparency slider here allows you to adjust the transparency, which will let the underlying Google Earth image show through. But since we have these yellow outlines of the country, we don't need to have a whole lot of transparency here. Then down in these tabs, we want to go to the refresh tab, and since this map is actually updated daily, we want our map to update as well. So we'll set this time-based refresh to periodically, and we'll set it to 24 hours. Now it'll likely update 24 hours from the time that you actually do this, as opposed to updating, say, at midnight. And then we'll go to the location. We'll ignore everything on this location tab for now because we're going to manually locate our map. So you'll notice that the map is not georeferenced yet. It has these green guides on the corners and the edges and in the center that will help us georeference. So we'll start to bring this thing into the right shape and area using these green guides and using the yellow borders that we enabled for Google Earth. And we can start to get this thing roughly georeferenced. And you can play around with that as much as you like, but once you get it close, or as close as you like, then you can save this dialog box by clicking OK. And so we want to make sure that North Sea snow depth map is also under My Places. So if it doesn't happen to go, if it happens to go to temporary places, you're going to want to drag it up into My Places, and that again can be turned on and off. You can go back in and re-enable your point features if you want at that particular time. But now the date here, November 25th, when you pull this up 24 hours later, you should see the image updating to the next date. So we don't have any snow to speak of other than a little bit in Maine, but you can now use the snow depth map to find the areas of New England that have got the greatest amounts of snow, and you can see exactly whose trail system resides within that area. So it's a nice way to plan a trip. Now the other thing you can do if you're using Google Earth for mobile on your iPhone or your Android phone, you can actually save this snow depth map to your desktop and then either email that to your phone or use something like Dropbox to transfer the map from your computer to your phone. And the way you save that is you just simply right click and say save place as, and you can give it a file name. The other sort of cool thing that I want to show you is if you are using Basecamp for doing your trip planning and you've created a route, in this case we have a route from Diamond Peaks Parking over to the Arrow Motel. We've already created it, so you see it highlighted here. From Basecamp, you can go to the view and say down to Google Earth and say selected items, which we have our route selected, and it will show you that route in Google Earth. So one cool thing that you can do in Google Earth, and we'll shut off our snow depth map for now, is you can zoom right in to a location and get a very accurate view of what that trail and surrounding area is like. You can even zoom in to a point where you can get the street view. So for example, if we wanted to take a look at what this parking lot looked like, we could zoom in and bring this little street view guy over till these little blue lines show up. Drop him there, and Google Earth will switch you over to Street View, so you can get an idea of actual imagery for that location. So it's pretty cool, and just wanted to show you how you can use that as a tool for trip planning.